Okay, so I got a question about shin splints or beginning to feel shin pains or aches after running. So this is a very ambitious client that I worked with for a while, and yeah, it's really fun to get questions like this when they're coming from a genuine place rather than me trying to figure out what I can share that could be helpful for people. So the question was, I've been starting to run now a little bit the last couple of 3-4 months. And whenever I pick up the pace, I feel my own pains coming back in the shin area or around the muscle areas. And this can be due to quite a lot of factors, but I'm gonna try to keep this video as practical as possible. So the first thing I would like to do then is to start working through the arches of the foot to really open them up. A lot of time they are tight or tense because we walk around with shoes that kind of compress our feet, not being in the natural position that we really want them to be. So your toes should essentially be able to do the same thing as my hand is doing, as I'm trying to show here. You should be able to spread and kind of grab and grasp things with your feet. When you're not able to do that, you're going to develop a lot of tensions and different patterns in your foot that's going to translate into your shin, your knee, hip, and continue all the way through the body. So what I would like to do then is to start with tennis ball, golf ball, massage, or pressure point ball. You can buy this at health stores or online, eBay, Lazada, Amazon, or a sports related goods store like Decathlon. They're really good for massage. So this is like to self-massage your own foot. So what I would do is work in between the big toe and the next toe. There is a arch of the foot. In between the next two, we have an arch. And between these two, we have an arch. And then we have one that comes across the foot. So that's 4 arches. And together they kind of lift up like this, create like a suction cup that creates the stability for the foot not to go in all kinds of direction. So we want to help them a little bit. So we can do this seated. We roll back and forth. We can do it half kneeling, or even all the way up standing, holding on to something and leaning your body weight gently into this area. But we want to roll maybe a minute or so on each area. So around here, around the next. It's really up to you how much time you spend, but the more in the beginning, the better, I would say. And then let's add one thing. Let's roll the inside of the foot. So you bring your foot out like so a little bit. And we roll. Go back and forth. If you find a spot that's a little bit sore or tight or feels uncomfortable, good. Stay there. If you imagine a pain scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is the most excruciating pain you don't want, or that you can have, then you don't want this to come over an 8. That's too much. If it starts to come up to 6, 7, fine. If it comes to an 8, you're on the border. You don't want it to come up to a 10 or a 9 of perceived pain, because that's just too much. You will stress your body unnecessarily. But my point is, this can be quite painful and tense because the feet carry all the weight of the body. So you can develop strong tensions in the foot. So work through all the different arches. Find your level of pressure, either sitting down like I'm doing, half kneeling, or standing all the way up, rolling through the ball. So roll through all the different arches of your foot, and then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. Half kneeling. And breathe and relax and just play through it. Like, where do you feel the tension? Where can you create some more space? What can you do essentially? What can create some more space in your foot? kneeling version. And then the inside, bringing the foot out like this. And then relax. So that's the first thing I would do. So in this video I like to sequence it. So we'll start working through the arches of the foot. And then we're going to work through the calves a little bit. And here you can use either foam roller or the pressure point ball that we already used. The foam roller is good for larger areas, so it won't get as intense. It won't get as intense. Less intensity with the foam roller because it covers a larger area on your body. And this is more a precision going into specific spots like your arches of your foot. So what we can do is simply place it like this. You can start with either one foot on the floor or both foot on the roller. So you want to start rolling from below, maybe this area, next, and then coming up. This has to do with bringing the blood circulation back to the heart for it to transform the blood into new oxygen-rich blood coming down here. But also the calves are the point that's the furthest part away from the heart, so we want to help the lymphatic system, which is the fluid system that gets rid of all the toxins in the body. We want to help the lymphatic system bring all the waste all the way up here, all that excessive waste products that we might have. So hands on the ground, and we're going to start with a smaller area, going back and forth like so. Toes can be pointing up first, and then they can be pointing a little bit to the side. You can do it both at the same time. It's going to create a little bit more tension create more core stability on your wrists, your elbow, and your shoulders. So if that's too much, you can come back to this one. And then gradually going through one portion at a time. Maybe back and forth 10 times, 15, and up to you. And then work all the way down. Don't forget to work on the side as well. The outside by bringing your foot facing out like this, and bringing your foot facing in like this. So a version you can do is that you go through the leg with the foot being straight like this, and then you go through it pushing out like this. You can also place one foot on top of the other if you want some extra weight. If you find a sore spot, you can stay there and breathe until it starts to dissipate or relax. You can also bend and extend your foot like this. This will help to stretch the muscle fibers, especially if you're running, that you can pinpoint those spots that get tight in the calf, in the shin area. And we do the same thing for the other leg. So we start from below, work back and forth, and spend some time. Don't rush through it. Spend some time, go through it slowly, take each area one part at a time. If it's heavy for elbows or shoulders, you can come down on your forearms. You can even place pillows and such here to get a little bit more of support for your lower back or for your shoulders or for your wrists. And then we do the same thing for the outside, foot leaning out. And then the inside. left a little bit on the outside, and I will come back and we'll spend a little bit of time going through it. Alright, so that's foam rolling through the calves. Now, when it comes to the shin muscles, you have your shin bone on this side, and on the outside you have the muscles. And they kind of meet like this and create like a little junction. So you don't want to roll the bone because that makes no sense. There's nothing to gain rolling the bone. But you can roll the muscle. That's what we want to do. So what I want to do is I want to bring the foam roller facing out like this. If I have my right leg, my foam roller is coming up on the left side. The right side is coming down. So I want to place my leg a little bit to the side. Now I'm going to bring my hands like this, like a tabletop position, and bring this one back and come up like this. If this is hard flexibility wise, just move the roller out and bring the leg down. And we want to roll the leg like this. So I have my weight on this knee, on my hands, and I can decide how much weight that comes into the leg. I can also stand on my toes, and I can have it closer to any numbers of ways. You can do the same thing from here. We can start from below and rolling, bringing it up towards the knee. Place more weight to go through this area and really spend some time rolling, because this is going to help you a lot to get some circulation into the area and to really start to gain that restorative functions that usually happens with shin splints, that the tension is taking over and starts to pull on the bones, creating micro tears or even fractures sometimes after being prolonged for a while, after not being addressed essentially. And then we do the same thing for the other side. Place the leg like this, and start from below, roll a little bit, move the roller away, and take it incrementally towards your knee. Now, if this didn't work for you flexibility-wise, or if you want extra sauce, extra spice, we can do the same thing but with the pressure point ball. So, place the pressure point ball. This will be a lot less strenuous for you. You can even have one leg like this and sit down like this, or however it comes to you conveniently. And then just bring one leg out and place it on the outside. And we go back and forth. You can even add some weight to where you want the area to roll. So it's kind of like I'm taking both my hands and using my hands to massage the shin muscles. And when I'm using the ball, then you can stay a little bit longer and just dig into those tense or tight spots. They are usually called myofascial pressure points. And essentially it's oxygen deficiency in the muscles that makes them tight. And they cannot work 100%. So all the muscles around this muscle have to work harder. Essentially, if you imagine a team where everyone is not pulling their weight, the ones that are pulling their weight, they're going to have to work harder. So this is a way to get the whole team to work together, which takes a lot of the workload off the bones and the surrounding tissues and structures. So same thing, work through the shin all the way from below, coming up on both legs. Or however it looks for you, however you find the angle. Take your time to really address those spots that are tight. Alright. So for our last trick for this video, we will come into the about a 90-90 position. Can be like a triangular shape like so, or it can be even further out. So I'm gonna be working from my heel to the back of my knee. If this is tight for you, you can place a pillow here to support the leg. That won't impair the technique in any way. What we want to do is locate our Achilles tendon. Our Achilles tendon is where the calf muscle goes in and becomes a tendon. They're attached to a tendon, and then they go all the way in to the heel bone, and from there they are attached to the arches of our foot. So the arches of our foot are connected all the way up this way, actually all the way up to your neck. So from here we're going to gently find it. So you find the apex of it, and then you're going to come in and you're going to find your bone, your shin bone. So between the Achilles tendon and the shin bone, there's like a little cavity, a little indentation. We're going to gently place the base of our hand or a thumbs there, like so, so, or so, however comes natural to you. I try to not use my thumbs too much like this. And then we press down, and we can hold. We can do like this, press down and hold. Up here is where it gets really interesting. By interesting, I mean painful. You can place one hand under the knee, and you can kind of pull with this one and push down with this one. That will be quite intense, but we're actually doing a very deep stretch for the calf muscles. And we can also grab the Achilles tendon and kind of squeeze it like this. You can go up and down with one end, or just squeeze and relax. Some squeeze, squeeze, and I can bring it up and down to create some more space, some more circulation essentially. And then we can massage along the inside all the way up, press, place some pressure, and spend a little bit of time getting this area going. Now for the front of the shins, either we can do the same thing, that we're kind of pushing down. Maybe you can't reach all the way down to the front of your shin. What we can do then is either sit like this if possible, or have a pillow underneath here to support, either with both legs or with one up. So with one up, it looks like this. My foot comes in like this, it's not straight, and I cradle my knee and I gently bring it up. Now I'm very flexible, so this comes easy for me. For some people, this might be a lot of pain going into the ankle. So you can place a towel or a blanket underneath your foot, and that will alleviate a little bit. And this is essentially to stretch the shin muscles. And the shin muscles are usually involved with shin splints or pain in the tibia, in the shin bone, when we're running or exercising. Because all of the tension that comes in will start to pull on its insertion point. So the muscle that connects to the shin bone, they're so tight that they're actually pulling parts of the bone until it starts to get inflammation or even can have some tears. We can even do with both legs if possible. Hands here, or work through it. We can also work from here. Then we bring our knees together, place your toes down, pluck your pinky toes in, and sit up. This will create a very, very intense stretch on the arches of your foot. So you might want to do it from here or from here if you're able to. This position I would hold for about 90 seconds to 2 minutes. come out of it, shake your legs out, and then I would like to come into the counter pose with one leg or two legs. Same here, hold it for 90 seconds to 2 minutes, and then you can alternate between them. So this is some things you can do to start working with shin splints and tightness in the shin or the quad, calf area due to running or exercise when you're coming back. Please let us know if this is something that works for you or if you have any further questions. And of course, subscribe and like our channel, and you will be able to see more material like this or within other areas that we will share material on as well. Thank you very much for the question.